Today I want to talk about the Alpinestars Halo glove. This is part of their new collection of very similar gloves for the 2022 season. You have the Halo as their kind of adventure touring summer glove. You have the Morph, a couple different versions of the Morph glove, which are similar, different materials, but kind of a similar layout. And then you have the AMT-10, which is their even more technical one, adventure touring, but with a waterproof separate layer. So this is kind of the mid-range adventure touring one, and it's primarily what I do on an Africa Twin. So I figured, hey, I'll give these a shot. Let's talk about fit really quick. These are a size large. I usually wear a size 9 in held, 9 in racer, large in racer, a large in climb, a large/9 in Alpinestars. The measurements put me in this. I tried it on. It's really nice too because it actually has slightly longer than average fingers, I think. I can feel that I have a little bit of room at the tips, and I usually have relatively long fingers. So I think if you measure it as a large, especially if you run a little bit longer in the fingers, this is a great option. Also aiding in the fit and getting the construction a bit, one of the neat things about this glove, and one of the reasons it's probably one of the most comfortable I've put on, despite how closely it fits, is they've used a ton of stretch. I think the Morph, the more street-oriented version, uses even more stretch. It uses their ride knit, but this is still fantastic. So the entire backhand around these interesting knuckles is all a polyester stretch material woven. It's air porous to a degree, super comfy. When you flex like this, like it moves with you. It's wonderful. You have more of that running all the way down, except towards the end where you might catch in a slide. So they've wrapped that with leather to keep things more secure. And then they've done something very similar here on the inner thumb as well, and a little bit on the palm. And this is kind of unique. I don't see this terribly often. So they've used more stretch material with a double stretch here on the thumb, where you're going to move a lot. And then they've put some on the palm as well. So when you're moving around or standing on a bike and reaching out further, you have a lot of flexibility. It's super comfortable. Other materials, again, you have goat leather on the palm. You have a little bit of an overlay here with a, I believe it's a layer of like microfiber. You don't have any reinforcement here though, which, that is where you grab. So that is, I think, a little bit of a, unfortunate. It is touch compatible. You have touch bits there on the thumb and index. The back of the palm, again, you have lots of stretch all through here. You have leather accordion stretch. And then you have these interesting knuckles. They call them, I believe they're Ergotech, or maybe that's the Dainese one. I mean, to me, they look like any other, hard plastic knuckle, really, just with a cooler design. I think they're made to, like, follow your knuckles or something. I'm not sure. They're just kind of cool looking. Otherwise, I think they're just a hard knuckle protector, really, at the end of the day. Maybe with a couple different materials, and they've got the usual temper foam style interior. Nothing beyond the design. It's just cool looking, nothing terribly exciting. You've got lots of perforation. And then I think the other bit that's really nice on these is you have this wonderful, super high airflow fourchettes mesh here. So between all of your fingers, as you're on the bike, if you have airflow here at all, it drives right in and through. It's very comfy. However, sticking with comfort, on the palm you have no airflow, and it's also unlined, so you're directly on the leather. And I was like, well, that's not going to be an issue. And then I went riding in these when it was, God, like 76% humidity, high 80s, low, effectively well into the 90s here in disgusting Northern Virginia. And I noticed my palms getting hot. So I didn't think that was going to be a thing, but it was. So the lack of a lined palm gives you a wonderful tactile feel, incredible flexibility. If you're riding where it's frequently very hot and humid, I do think that despite the airflow to the kind of top of your hand, I did notice I would have liked to have seen some perforation here or something like some brands do. Most notably Held likes to totally perforate the palm. Klim does as well in some of their models. I never really thought that was as big an issue as it might be until I tried these out. Protection. If you've watched my racer guide gloves video, I would have really have liked to seen something here, especially on a adventure-oriented glove where you're kind of anticipated to be dropping a bike and maybe stumbling and catching yourself a lot. To not have any sort of padding over an area that's going to touch the ground, that has fragile bones, I think is a miss. That is my biggest concern slash criticism of these gloves. I think of the whole line is they've left this whole critical area full of very fragile bones totally unprotected from an impact perspective. You don't have a slider either. You have this kind of, I guess, lower friction aramid cushion here. I will say most adventure-focused gloves don't have a slider. Things like the Rev'it Sand, Klim Baja, they're all using some sort of TPU, that like squishy rubber here. Some will have something here, a lot don't. That's criticism of all those gloves. And otherwise, you've got a nice big pad also over your wrist bone here, so if you come off, at least you have some protection. You don't have any material doubling on the outside. Again, this is a more off-road focused glove, so I think they've reduced some of the bulk in favor of agility and ease of movement. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's about it for these. You've got some cushioning here, a fair bit of that temper foam over your joints, a little bit here on the front. I don't know, I guess these are half accents. You don't have any on the actual joint, which is kind of strange, but you do have the leather wrapping up. But from a tactility and agility perspective, these are some of, I mean, next to like straight up dirt gloves, I think these are some of the nicest I've ever worn. Venting's pretty good, except for the palm. I wish they'd done something to cover here. But for just over $100, I think these are a very competitive offering, and with things like the Rev'it Sand 4, the Klim Baja, etc., these are giving you some nicer features. I think better mobility in some ways, a hard knuckle protector. So not a bad offering. Again, I'm very excited to see what Alpinestars keeps coming up with, because I feel like in some ways they are pushing motorcycle design forward a lot in a lot of their new for 2022 stuff. So yeah, great options with some small downsides.